Hello, guys. Hope you are doing well. This is TJ, and you are listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. This is one of the new series that I'm beginning from today, and this is a weekly series where I'll be reliving the wrestling promotions of 1980s. So, starting from today, on a weekly basis, I'll be starting off with Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling, where I'll be discussing all the weekly shows as well as pay per view as and when in the forward in the series, uploading on a weekly basis. And down the line, they may be covering of other wrestling promotions of 1980s as well. So without any further ado, let's enjoy some wrestling, guys. So before we get into the show, I would like to put some history on the table for a non-80s guy like me and for my wrestling viewers, fans out there, viewers out there. So his promotion. So prior to 1980s, his father Jim Crockett Promotions, as his name says, Jim Crockett was the promoter of the show. After his father died, his son Jim Crockett Jr. actually take over this promotion, and he was the promoter of that company. And going forward, after that, he actually made a couple of changes because prior to 1980s, this promotion was kindly actually focused upon tag team wrestling, but after 1980s or so, they were focusing on tag team wrestling, but that main attention gone to singles, gone as well, because they were focusing upon singles wrestling actions as well. Jim Crockett Promotions mainly covered the territories of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and the name Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling became a primary brand name for Jim Crockett Promotion in the early 1980s, and they were known after for the rest of the decade or so. They were being known as that brand, but they were also known by several brand names such as Championship Wrestling, All Star Wrestling, East Coast Wrestling, Mid Atlantic Championship Sports, Wildwood Wrestling, and Worldwide Wrestling. And these were the names actually. Some were shown in newspapers, some were shown in radio ads. So they were using tons of names for this promotion. But as I said, Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling was the primary, like known brand name, most known brand name, starting from 1980s or so till the end in the late 80s. So this was some history about the promotions. So without any further ado, let's get into the show then. So the show which I'm starting off with is taped on 9th September 1981, and it was aired on 12th September 1981. So if you would search for 9th September, you would be getting 12th September 1981. That was made to be cleared. So show actually started off with the intro of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, splitting up into four parts and showing that map of those places and people wrestling. So it was a good old editing that they had, and a very funky music. And we started off with Bob Call and David Crockett. They are on commentary, and they announced us that Ron Bass is a new Mid-Atlantic TV champion, and they says that he's the fighting champion. He's going to be a fighting champion. And Bob Call says going on, there's going to be a lot of changes that's going to happen, and fans kind of were asking. You also about Cordell also put a light upon that. Fans were asking that about Bahu McDaniel and Roddy Piper, but they says that they are not going to be here, and they're going to both be kept off television. And I felt like they may be present or something, but they didn't show up in this event. So that was there, and then we got when Ron Bass comes and had a brief interview. Kind of stuck as a new TV champion, and he says, "I'm fortunate enough to going to the title. I never to tell everybody. He will be thinking the people, the fans, every time I come out in the ring with that championship, a typical babyface promo, a pure babyface promo. I'll be type of champion who people will be proud of, and you will be coming to see." And it was a very starting off with a good babyface promo. So it was good, but we need heels as well. So then we got to Bob Caudle saying that Ricky Steamboat, some actions that gonna be happening. He says Bob Caudle says Ricky Steamboat, Jake Roberts, they're gonna be here, and a newcomer called Sergeant Slaughter is here, and he's a big man. He says, and Super Destroyer and Grappler Ron Bass with his partner Jay Youngblood is also gonna be having a match, as that was a main event. And then we got the first matchup, the opening matchup, which was a tag team matchup: Jim Nelson and Mike Miller versus Jake Roberts and Ricky Steamboat. And Jake Roberts and Ricky Steamboat, I have seen the works of them in the 90s. Ricky Steamboat as well in the late 80s and early 90s. Some great matches with Sting, Ric Flair as well. And Jake Roberts had as well many great matches before coming with that. Jake the Snake Roberts gimmick. So this was a pretty good match. The match actually started off with Steamboat and Miller. Uh, Starting off with a test of strength, Steamboat controls his arm and takes him down, and then Miller got the tag to Jim. Miller got the tag to Jim and headlock by Jim. Then a leapfrog with the drop kick by Ricky Steamboat and arm drag, controlling the arm now. Ricky tags Jake Robertson, hits on the arm and a slam and a knee lift as well by Jake Roberts and standing switch. And Ajik, I would like to say at this point that this match had so much of energy and enthusiasm and that enraged factor that that excitement level that we like to see, and that was brought about by mainly Jake Roberts and Steamboat as well. He was also good, but Jake Roberts was more controlling nature in this match, even though. Heels were kind of trying to get tag, but the faces were the masters here, and faces were tagging out. Jake Roberts and Ricky Steamboat were tagging out each other like very much, and they were having a very great tag team offense, and they had a lots of going on between their chemistry and all. I like this tag team matches. I like this tag team match, and then this the like finally actually in the final moments of the match we saw Miller actually controlling Ricky and tags Jim and right hand to the back of the neck and across the chest as well. Some strikes as well were there in this match, some chin lock, some controlling segments as well. So we were seeing some pure wrestling here. And Jim tags Miller then while Ricky didn't see it and back shot to the chest, Irish whip. Tries to chop, but Ricky ducks and a chop of his own takes Jim down. Punches and slams to the turnbuckle. An Irish whip by Ricky to Jim. Then while Jake was standing in the corner inside the ring. I don't know why he was standing in the corner. He would have to stand in the outside actually in the on the apron. Actually, he didn't stand there. And Jim starts to actually beat him, but Jake wants none of it, and he punches and slaps body slam, and that was a pretty loud. Loud slap on the chest, and that was very brutal. At the ending of the match, this match was getting with a lots of strikes, lots of fierce moments were there. And we saw Jake with an assisted drop kick as well to Jim Nelson, and Jim finally reaches his opponent's side, tag to Miller. Then Ricky actually Irish whips then Miller right away and tags with a jumping shoulder tackle and tag to Jake Robertson and lean lift to Miller. Then as Miller was uh, coming to save Jim Nelson, but Jake Roberts finishes him off with a back suplex, and that was it. Ricky stops him. Like he was trying to. Steamboat was trying to stop him. Miller, but he was unable to break up. So the faces got the win. Jake Roberts and Ricky Steamboat got the win. This is a very good opening tag match. I enjoyed this match. Fun match, I would say. My thoughts. Some very good wrestling, engaging, and good tag team offense by Steamboat and Jake Roberts. And Jake is one of the kind. He's really fiery, and Steamboat as well. He actually they both possess that energy, that excitement they put forward into the any match that they have, and it was more technically skilled. We have technical skill moments as well by from Steamboat because he more of technical skill in this match. He portrayed some great mat wrestling and all, some grapplings and all. So this was a very good tag team match in those days standard, I would say. It was kind of slow, some controls as well, but there were some fiery moments, some chops and strikes as well. So the winners were Jake Roberts pins Mike Miller, and Jake Roberts and Ricky Steamboat pick up the victory. And the second match we got was Ivan Koloff versus Terry Lethin. Ivan Koloff is called as Russian Beer, and he is the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion at this time. So he's the top dog of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. So before the match, Koloff had the chain around his neck. He hips just like this one wrestler, I don't remember his name. Yeah, Stan Hansen. Stan Hansen has that bull rope that he used to uh, uh, just uh, throws off. That was kind of a feeling of call off as well, and he flips right into the mat. It would have been it hurt Terry Lathan actually didn't hit that. He was safe, and he was just intimidating Terry before the match, and that's a great strategy. That there's a very small piece of storytelling that was there, and match starts then with collar and elbow tie, but quick takedown by Schoolboy. They control each other with headlock and arm lock. Call off hits with the multiple shots. Call off controls over lock and Lethan with now a wrist lock. Then some technical wrestling initially there with a slam. Then and Call off is a focused wrestler. He was focusing. He was very focused kind of moments. Moments. His moments were like that. So he was very methodical type of wrestler, but his moves were very dangerous and uh, very very kind of very fierce, kind of very brutal type of brutal type of stuff he was doing. And Call of takes handful of hair to get him down and control him over the neck, but ref doesn't see it first time, but second time he see that he was using the hair to pull down Lethan, and Lethan actually takes down to the back cover and then a kick out. Some good pure technical wrestling and fundamental wrestling going on. Great stuff in the initial moments. And Call of hits with a waist lock, then wrist lock, then back up. Call of wrestles him with the pressure on his arm. Lethan with a cartwheel escape, nice escape. Call of with a then hair amount full of hair and slams him down. And now ref sees it and gives him the warning and shot to the back. Then Ivan Koloff to Lethan, a knee to the stomach and kick to the face, knee to the back and hit to the corner, throws up and over. Irish whip until a backdrop by Koloff, knee to the back, over and over again. It was brutal. Ivan Koloff was brutally. Terry Lethan tried, but he was not able to control this big guy, Ivan Koloff, who was very raged, and he's one hell of a mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion. I thought about that. I felt like that. So it was mostly uh, controlled by offenses whereby uh, the heavyweight champion Abel Koloff and double stomp to mix section, and these moves that we double stomp and all, these are the moves that we today to this day as well we see. And at those time double stomp was the, and I mean it's so brutal to see that double stomp, like it kind of when in at this time you see that we say it's a fake or something, but they they really take the pain. I am not kind of making any difference or something, but at that time it was more brutal than this time. And that emotional on and the character emotional and all get into you, and you just do whatever you can to win the match if you are booked to win. And Koloff goes to second rope and with a knee to the chest and tries to pin, but Lathan kicks out, and then with a punch, back and forth comeback by Lathan. Then some comeback movement was there for Lathan, Terry Lathan, and back elbow to chest, but Koloff with a kick and a knee lift. Call off with a across the top rope. Call off with a backbreaker and then a knee across the stomach. Spearheading into the turnbuckle again and again. Call off into the top rope driver, and the knee right to the back of the neck. That was a brutal move, man. That's the same move that now Kyle O'Reilly does actually. The finisher. Cool Kyle O'Reilly, and his I like his finisher, and this finisher was but this was actually driven into that from the top rope. That's not driven actually. That's like opponent will be laid down and he just jump off to by his knee. Something different, but a kind of a uh, different small changes there. A kind of a very brutal move, nasty angle gets him, and Ivan Koloff obviously would be the winner because he's heavyweight champion, and it was a dominating victory. But Lathan tried, and good showing by the champion, and Lathan's skills as well. But I would say a good wrestling match, back to back, a good one tag match and one good tag team match and a good singles match as well. To just So I would like to say one thing as well, as I was reading about this in many websites, that at this time the big shows were the time where squash matches didn't happen, while the weekly shows they did put sometimes good matches, good wrestling matches, but not always. There were some three squash matches that's gonna happen to just build upon. And I will say that it's not bad for a show to have a squash match or something, but too much is bad. But I don't know if I don't know, I'm feeling like that because I'm not a 80s guy or something, but the squash matches could be there in once a week or twice a week, but at this time, but at that time that was very much in the shows, in the weekly shows. They didn't put that quality matches because the competition was not that of high. The television was not of television and all that was not very dominated. The TV ratings and all that was not there that much like nowadays. So anyways, just information there. So this was a very good wrestling match. I liked, but it was somewhat long. But I haven't think about any boring or something. It was kind of boring. I didn't think about that. A good match, great showing for Terry Lathan as well. On to the commentators. Then they says that fans all want to see the match between Wahoo McDaniels and Sergeant Jacques Gollet. So that had happened before or something. I don't know. And they show the footage. McDaniel actually double underhook suplex to Gollet, and Roddy Piper comes from the back and comes with him was Abdullah the Butcher. He was kind of a monster of this time, and Abdullah the Butcher running and attacks him with a foreign object. It was kind of a I don't know what was that. He was just it was real blood, man. They censored it actually. Piper pushes the referee in order to humiliate, and many wrestlers, many wrestlers from the back were also trying to help, but they were getting attacked with this from this big guy Abdullah the Butcher, and Roddy Piper was just enjoying that, and he was saying, "Kill him, kill him, kill him." And then we saw the third match. This was a nice segment to see Roddy Piper in the matches and in the show as well. It's a treat to see him. His character played out. He's one of the best heels. And then we got to commercials, and the third match was tag team action, which was between the Grappler and the Super Destroyer versus Don Kernodle and Scott Maggie. So this was a very good tag team, a very competitive tag team match. Match starts off with some with Super Destroyer and Maggie working out with each other. Super Destroyer controls arm while Maggie takes a leg. Knee lift to Maggie, then Destroyer with a fireman's carry takedown. Destroyer attacks the Grappler. Grappler then tries to control arm, but Maggie flips off and trick to actually attack to the face to escape. Finally, tag to Don Canodal, then collar and elbow tie up Don with an atomic drop. Grappler goes to this. This was a very engaging tag team match, I would say. Not like the first tag team match that I had seen. This was a very long as well, but some good moments were there. Destroyer and Kernodle then have some arm control and tag to Maggie. Then there was frequent tags between and Maggie and Don Kernodle, and again he controls the arm, knee to the gut by Destroyer's headbutt to the stomach, where and then kick to the chest and tags to Grappler, and the finish of the match. In the finish of the match, we saw actually Noodle actually making his comeback and back body drop, tries an elbow drop, but misses that. Body slam by the grappler and a D drop to the head, and then attacks actually Destroyer, Super Destroyer, and kicks to the. These were the powerful tag team that we had seen. Like Super Destroyer, they looked like very cohesive tag team, like very evenly matched tag team that we had seen. And kicks to the head and headbutt, multiple elbow drop to the head, that was brutal, and tags the grappler, then snapmare, multiple punches and a vertical suplex, and kicked out. He actually kicked out, and they say that that was unbelievable actually, as commentators were saying, as they were being destroyed by this tag team, such a powerful tag team that we are seeing now. Suplex, and then we got a suplex, and down with a push to the stomach, and tags Mickey. Finally, an uppercut drop kick. Grappler kicks to the lower back while he was going to attack the Destroyer. Tags Destroyer onto the top rope superplex by Destroyer to Mickey. That was beautiful superplex that we have seen. That was beautiful. Don tries to pull leg and of the Destroyer, but he got the pin. And long, and I would, as I was saying in the starting, this was a long match, but there were some moments here and there, and that longness of this match actually kind of degraded the match to like kind of an okay match. Could have been short, as I thought, but this was a very well worked match. They got a tons very long amount of time to work with each other. The winner weighs Super Destroyer, and the Grappler by that leg destroyer that we to the gut. to the gut actually, and that was the finish of the match. And then we got to the backstage interview where Ricky Steamboat and Jake Roberts is standing, and Ricky says he's planning to go to Japan. No, he's actually came from Japan, and he was in Japan for 8 months. He was in Japan training in martial arts with some of his best trainers, and Robert says then he's enjoying. After that, some basic stuff by Steamboat, and then Mike goes to Jake Roberts, and he says he enjoyed tagging up with Ricky. He'd look forward to doing that again. And he says that a lot of things are happening around here, and I don't know why they are not gone. But as an opportunity, he will be knocking off the dirt, whichever the guy or whichever thing comes off his face. Jake Roberts a pretty a very intimidating promo over there, and he looked like a very handsome guy, and because like yeah, he was a very handsome guy in 80s. And now then we got next Jay Youngblood and Ron Bass, the new TV champion is here, and they are having the main event. But they came to actually talk about their match and their thoughts. And Ron Bass says he's there a lot of guys who is putting their names, but he says he's ready to face any challenge, either it is from Super Destroyer, Ivan Koloff, Anderson, or anyone. He's ready for any match, irrespective of any singles match or tag team match, because Jay Youngblood says then he's one of the best champion we got, as he was stating Ron Bass, and he's gonna ensure that to do what he says, and that's it. And he was supporting Ron Bass, that kind of a babyface tag team we had, and heel tag team which we had is Super Destroying and Don Kernodle, and some so we should have that we should have we having, I think, that Super Destroy and Don Canudel versus the Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood, and that would be fantastic match. Babyface particular babyface versus heel match. I'm hoping that there would be this match in the future episodes. Nice promos by Four Man, actually. I like this promo, and these promos were so lively, man. When we saw promos of this time, it's so bad, man. We know that it's scripted, but still they are coming out of their mouth, and they're just saying it with their heart, and their character is so blending with them each other. And that was the time when promos were like gold. Anyone if even if they were not a good wrestler or something, the promos they were cutting were very good that time. Now it's all bad. Even the champion would be cutting like a bad promo. And then we got to the match fourth, which was a kind of squash match for the Sergeant Slaughter, because he was making his the debut here at Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Sergeant Slaughter versus Mike Davis, and this was a one fall 15-minute time limit match. Sergeant Slaughter destroyed this opponent with multiple knee to the gut, knee to the head, body slam into the turnbuckle, drops him into the chest, strong elbow to the head for Davis, kick to the chest then. And Ole Anderson is coming and he's enjoying this moment while Sergeant Slaughter is destroying Mike Davis. He's in Slaughter's corner. Slaughter destroys Davis. Strong clothesline, Cobra clutch by Slaughter, and that was done. A squash match to build up Sergeant Slaughter. A good short match to build up. I like squash matches where they build a debut superstar or something. I don't care about that because it's done for some reason. And a nice match, okay match. The match itself was not any point to say, but the character work, the storyline that they keep forwarding, that's a good. So then we got to the fifth match. This was also a squash match with one of the powerful guys that we had seen the footage as well. Abdullah the Butcher versus Ron Richards. Abdullah destroys his opponent Richards outright to the podium, hit by Abdullah, and this was a kind of a false counterweight type of match. Hitting to the podium, Abdullah hits with the belt to the head as well. This guy is dangerous, man. He's just beating out with the hell anything. And Piper says, finish him, headbutt with a running elbow drop, gets it, he covers, but picks him to humiliate again. He doesn't get the pin. He didn't kicked out, but he was getting the pin, but he just picked him up, and he wanted to humiliate him again. And he then slams him down again and cover, done. Another squash match, not good. Just to I mean, I like squash matches, as I said, but too much squash matches I don't like that. So this was kind of an underwhelming type that we had caught in the show. But I want to not complain because time that they had. I'm not just giving that the time they had the squash matches warranted well. I'm not saying that, but we should appreciate the things that they're putting at that time, because the wrestling, the promos, the character was so great at that time, and you should appreciate that. So there would be something negative. There may be not a positive all over every time. So that was my thought. This was a bad squash match for a build up for Abdullah Butcher. The Sergeant's daughter was very good. And then we got commentators saying that Wahoo and Piper and Abdullah Butcher are not here. And that was actually Abdullah the Butcher match. So this was the Abdullah the Butcher match was a taped match actually, and that was not that they had filmed that week. So taped that week. So and then we got the match seventh, very number of matches there. 7 matches in 45 minute show. Man, did you see that in any show right now? No, we get 2 to 3 matches, but we'll have to see that quality of that because we had got two squashes and all segments as well. So I'm not comparing and all, but just saying. And then we got seventh match, new NWA TV champion Ron Bass and Jay Youngblood versus Ali Bey and Rick Harris. And this main event was a solid match, not a great match I would say, but a very good match. The match started off with a collar and elbow tie-up. Youngblood Irish whips to Ali Bey, shoulder tackle, but Youngblood with a hip toss and a drop kick. Bay tags in Harris, chopped by Jay, and tags Ron Bass, then headlock constant, then elbow to the back. Harris tags Ali Bey, then takes Ron Bass down, kicks him off with a backflip, tags Youngblood, headlock control by try to pin Bay, but again tag to Ron Bass. Headlock, then Bay escapes and take him down, and arm control. But Bay, so there was a lot of tagging here. There are a lots of things going here. Strikes, kicks, brutal chops as well, like Walter. And that the in the I think it was in the middle or ending. The chop that was made by Jay Youngblood was so large, man. It just exploded into my earphone actually. That was and he actually hurt with that slap actually into the chest. That chop. Harris with a multiple knee to the gut, then Irish whip, a backdrop body slam by Harris. The lots of going on, punch to the gut and the throat, picks him up, tags Ron Bass with the right hand to the hand, to the right lock control. Harris then pushes him to get the tag. They nicely controlling well, not to get tag to Harris. Harris actually. So the NW champion, the team Ron Bass and Jay Englert were doing pretty very well work here, because they were not get they were Ali Bey actually Rick Harris, they were not getting each other tag as they were hoping so, but they got tag here and there, but the controlling of the match was being done by Youngblood. He tags Youngblood, then by Youngblood actually, and then we got Ron Bass tagging Youngblood, roll up but no, picks him up, knife and chop by Youngblood, headlock takeover control. Harris with the Irish whip slides him down, but Jay with an elbow, he clearly misses out. Harris sells like he got it actually. Elbow, he was kind of getting an elbow to the head, but he totally misses out. That was clearly seen, but he sold it very well. So much control for in this match. Uh, so it's a lot of control segments, and I actually thought about that. It's a lot of control segment that's happening. So this was a long tag team match, but I would say this was not a bad either. Good, just like I said, the another tag team match that we had, which one was that? That was Don Kernodle match. That was also a long tag team match. So tag team matches were long this time. The control segments, the show off of the wrestlers, I know all the things that we do in the ring, and that was all. That also took time. And then we got. Pay with a bear hug to to Ron Bass, he escapes, punches an elbow to the cover by Harris, and Bay kicks out, and Bay actually breaks up and tags Harris. Uh, and then back and forth action. Bass tags Jay Youngblood with a drop kick suplex and a jumping elbow drop. Bass gets the tag. Jay with a double hand chop to the chest twice, and that's it. Stampede power slam. A pretty okay match, I would say. Not a very great match or a very good match that we are seeing, but I actually pretty enjoyed the show. About this match, pretty okay match, I would say, with some fun moments here and there. This was definitely a long. This was definitely longer than Don Cardonan match that we had. This is definitely got too much control segment and cutting the nice moments of this match. But then I'm not complaining.